Yo guys, how you doing? We are back, but not with Lenny and Carl. He sat just at the word desk. We're back with Gorzag and Nikkit. As you can see, there's been some work done on these guys already. We've shown this off once or twice. Toonie Shrews! Thank you for that host, bro. And thank you to Des earlier on for that host too. In the chat, we've got those two absolute individuals, Remnants 15, the Johnson, the Tilts, Hercel Zero, Spleen 999, Viking XDK, and Gumbalina. How's it going? Gumbalina, you were not welcome in the first place, so you know, don't worry about it. It's fine. You're just here. Just here. Guadib! Tim, thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate it. Toonie Spruce, we're doing well. We're doing well. We've had a mostly productive day. Not quite as productive as I would have wanted my day to be, but productive. We have finished all of the basing on every Necron in this box, which is a lot of the bigger stuff. We have finished basing on every Necron in that box, which is most of the smaller stuff. And then we've got everything mounted. So we've got a lot of things like this going on. These are the different guns, the Catacomb Command Barge / Annihilation Barge. These are mounted to some little plastic rod with some magnets on. A tiny bit of blue tack that's up and spinning around. We've got and done all the magnetization for stuff. We built our scarabs. Open-eyed Dreamer, thank you for the follow. Built our scarabs, not scarabs, what do you call them? Tomb spiders. Did their bases. This, we've got some magnets sealed around a flight stand. As you can see, that's a very strong joint. These are some the little concave magnets with a hole in the middle. That's a 10 by 2 mil magnet. This is a strong joint. You know, it'll definitely hold these guys on real tight. What else have we done today? We've based the entirety of Wraith's Blood Angels commission as well. Then we started editing the video for this week's YouTube video. Damn, Tim! From out of nowhere, Muad'Dib comes in with a donation. Cheers to you, man. Thank you. And Nightmare subs on a 4-month streak, 5 months now. Says boom. Here's to you too. Got the good stuff tonight. I was feeling it. God, it's so smoky and what a hero indeed. So this is what we're working on today. This week's YouTube video is how to do every part of the mini up to this point. So all of the skin. And as we've been asked for, we've done the skin built up from a purple base coat. So there is purple all the way through this green. We've then done Nikkit without using purple, but we've done Nikkit solely using a brush, whereas Gorzag has had the airbrush go on him as well. What we're doing now, though, is painting in all of the rest of him. So you get all the base coats done tonight, and what we are going to be doing is painting some extremely 90s looking blue and red camouflage. That's what we're gonna do. Blue and red camo on this t-shirt. We're kind of gonna do more the left hand side of it, so the red predominant side, and the blue will be a little bit more like the darker blue we've got on the right hand side. Ali G in the house. Yes, something like that. Welcome to the 90s. I mean, like, this was too blue. I wanted to do more red, so like this, but inverted. But that's where we're aiming with. That's just nice. But like that was what came into my head was camo like that when we started thinking about it. Anyone that used to watch the WWF, I remember the Dudley Boys. They used to have some ring gear that was those colors, and it's like that's where I'm at in my head. Please freehand a bruv on the back of his jacket. Thank you for wearing your camo. I hope you got noticed. Exactly. Tony Spruce says, that's my bed duvet. I mean, there's a lot of white splotches on that. So, I mean, it could be close. I had red camo trousers. Nice. Nice. I don't think I ever had red ones. I had, like, some weird blue urban ones at some point. I remember that. I thought they were pretty baller as well. My mum thought much less that they were baller, but I loved them. You know. Is that back? Is what back? If you mean the camo, God, I hope not. No, this is just Her Salcero's Orc Army has the camo patterns on everything. And of course, it's a mini for his Orc Army, so we've got to make it fit in. Skin, very nice little workup on that. Really enjoyed doing it. It's a slightly different way of painting green, and we explain in the video, which we've started editing, like I was saying earlier on, about the theory of why stuff like that works. We've even, well, you can wait and see. We'll probably do a glyph. Probably do a glyph white. I reckon that'll work quite well. It'll stand out, be very strong. So how is everyone today? What you all been up to? Anyone been doing some hobby? Anyone been doing anything interesting? Started dark brown for your orc skin. Nice. Like you can start from anywhere, to be honest, but there's reasons why some things work better than others. Depending on which kind of dark brown, it would work for exactly the same reasons that this works. But there's lots of ways to do anything. This is just another way to achieve an effect. And you can't really tell that there's purple. There's purple, like literally I'm looking at purple right now. But you can't really tell that there's purple in those areas just simply because of how well it works with the green. Celeste Donkey, Orcs is the biggest and the best. I mean, Knights are the biggest and the best. Orcs could be second. You've been using your airbrush to Tony Sprues. Remnants 15 says painted up Black Legion. Nice. Mada, yeah, same man. I have rescued the bin twice. So, your mum cut your hair for you. Nice. Working today, super busy, but trying to test scheme for my new Marine Army now. Awesome, dude. Doing some basing for a Forge Fiend and a Venom Crawler. I absolutely love the Venom Crawler. It's a really, really cool mini. Out of the Fiends, though, it's got to be the Mauler Fiend for me. Love the Mauler Fiend. Right. He's going to have big metal things. What I would do ordinarily is like spiky black leather. But I'm thinking this Orc boy, not really Mr. Arts and Crafts. And so he's just like got a big plate of metal, bent it around his wrist, and stuck a strap on it. Then I had somebody weld some nails, and away he goes. This was also extremely 90s from what I remember too. So, you know, been doing it on work time. Good lad. You got both? Oh yeah. Tell what Stomp on Airplane, learned a lot these last few days about airbrushing. Yep, definitely. anyone that says like airbrushing is cheating and there's no skill involved and stuff like that hasn't really spent time learning how to use an airbrush. You have to train yourself how. It's definitely not just a pick up and away you go kind of thing, though it is a low skill level entry. But only the entry. You say stompers are even bigger. They're twice as big, but they're twice as shite. So it's okay. Oh, Gumbalina, that hurts, man. Unlucky. Hopefully you got some rest, I did. Someone moving house, or you just helping somebody, or what? I thought for a second he had it padlocked to his wrist then, which would have been super metal, but it's not. It's just a little, like, buckle. Sad Orc, right? Hey, mate, you can be Mr. Sad Orc as much as you want. I remember when the Orc Codex came out, Warhammer TV were like, right, we're going to put a stomper on a battle report, and it's going to be great. We're going to play Orcs versus Imperial Knights, so the ultimate Horde army versus the ultimate elite army. And they were talking up how stompers are the biggest, nastiest, baddest things in the world. Now, myself, being a competitive player, and being someone that is very well known for playing knights at a highly competitive level, is sat there going, this is not going to end the way that you guys are talking it up. And they're going on about how, a stomper is so good, it could take on 2 knights in combat and win. And I'm like, what fucking planet are you on, bro? And then the stomper charged in and did next to nothing to a gallant, and the gallant just went BAM! And took this stomper out. Oh, well, that was unexpected. Yeah, Stomper is not good. It's not good on the tabletop. It's not good in the rules. It's, in my mind, not even a very good mini. Moves to French floating clip. Fair enough, Gumbly. Maybe it's to just make the place look like it's being, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get ready for being ready to open for business or something. After all, we might, severely unlikely, we might be back playing tournaments by the end of July. End of June, rather. End of June. According to Boris and the projected, if everything works the way we kind of want it to work, lockdown release schedule version 12.0, we might have tournaments. Finally restarting the F1 car. Well, Viking, the more you put it off, the longer it's going to take. So just power through it, dude. Dig deep, find the strength. You can work on the F1 car this weekend while I'm working on the Necronathon too. Before anyone types it in, there's no command. I figured it's way too late for a command. I was looking at it on Monday. I was like, well, I just want a photo with all the army together and everything before we start doing it. And it's like, no. I need to get another photo, which is what I'm going to do tomorrow, of everything so I can get a good Instagram post and some adverts up about it. But is that a bit of motherfucker? July next year. Could be. Could be. This isn't irritating as fuck at all. It was really, really annoyingly hard to see that there was a bit of flash there. Hopefully going to tournament in June. Well, as long as it's end of June, you might be alright. And to be honest, because my genuine belief is that most people, especially the British public, are complete Berks. I can't see it happening. Ex-adventurer getting his Prime sub down. Absolute badass. Thank you very much, dude. 2 months. 2 months. Alright. What else we got? This metallic. He's got big fucking clodhopper boots. Metallic. These are clearly his new rocks. No, we're not painting flames on them. Just want to return a flipping Christmas present. Just let me do. Yeah, but Tilts. Let's be honest. The kind of people buying those tickets are they're special people. You know. Tell you what, he's got his little dags at the front. Yes, that's what they're called, and yes, I do like dags. And we might do those as flames to celebrate his new rocks. Like, if I worked for the police or anything even close to that, bold fuck. I think I've got more hair on my head than you have, pal. In fact, reasonably sure. How's your first month self-employed? Is there anything you know that you wish you'd known a month ago? Good question. Let's see. yeah, there you go, Tilts. I think I've got more hair on my face than you've got on your head. What did I wish I'd known last month that I now know this month? I don't know if there's been anything yet. I can't think of anything now that's like, God, I wish I'd known about this. Everything is kind of still business as usual. So yeah, there's nothing that's come up yet that's been new. But when something does, I will let you know. Last week's lottery numbers, yeah, that would have been good. Yeah. I don't think I could have afforded the Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at its lowest point. So... And I mean like lowest point recently, not lowest point original release kind of deal. But they're now what? 45k a coin? Something like that? For a whole Bitcoin? Or is it 35? It might be 35. I think they're trying to do face paint like Chaos Champion. Any guidance or recommendations? Face paint like how? Am I enjoying it, Tim? Yes, definitely. Absolutely, dude. My work ethic is pretty good, so I'm still up and at my desk by 9 a.m. Every morning. It means that if I have a day like Monday, for instance, where by end of day Monday I was hanging, I was not in a good way at all. Sorry, Sunday, I meant. I was still kind of hanging on Monday. Woke up with a bloody awful headache Monday morning, worse than usual. Took me half a day to sort of shift it into the back of my head and just get on. But yeah, Sunday had a bit of a rough day. Woke up Monday not feeling it, and I didn't have to deal with other people and so on. I could just try and get on at my own pace. Still got some work done. It was a bit of a write-off of a morning. Wasn't as productive as like a usual morning by any stretch of the imagination, but we were still able to function. Whereas if it had been a case of like I've got to go into an office or I've got to dial into a meeting now, I probably would have just called in sick. So the fact that I'm my own boss and I got to just sort of deal with it my own way was really, really good, actually. Thought about doing the entire gun silver, but that feels like a bit of a cop-out, so we'll do some check marks on this. Everything else is kind of basic, so we're doing that camo pattern, so we can find something to jazz up. May as well do his little shooter. I'll give you a shooter, you concha. We've got a few bits of like different metallic to do. We'll do some brass or some copper, perhaps, one of the two, on things like the orc symbol here on his belt, these little extra details he's got in his belt, that sort of thing. Using gunmetal, absolutely. You ever seen one of those barbarians that have a strip of paint across the eyes? Yes. Yeah, okay. So, because it's face paint, then you can kind of just paint it on. And you can be as tidy as you like, basically. If it was a tattoo, or if you wanted to make it look more like a tattoo, then you can't just paint it on using like black paint or whatever. And in fact, that's the other thing, actually. I wouldn't use black paint for it at all. I'd use shades of just like really, really, really dark grey. As many as you want, probably less than 50, before anyone makes the obvious joke. Because black will look way, way too stark. So, Nightmare, yeah, I do. And I would never have considered this had it not been the fact that I was being made redundant. Ever. We're still waiting for the 3 months down the line for me to go, well, this was a fucking mistake. So we'll see what it's like in a year. And we'll go from there. But thank you for the faith you had, bro. The comments like that always meant a lot to me. Meaty hooks. Get a table by the street. Hang on. In our old familiar place, you and I, face to face. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, when we can start playing Warhams again, I am so down. That'll be the bad thing about being self-employed. It's like, I don't have to argue with my boss for why I need the afternoon off to play Warhams. Because my boss is like, do it, do it, do it. So, right. He's going to have a silver hat. And we're going to wash all of this with both dark tone and strong tone. So use dark tone to get our overall like recessed shades down. And then we use strong tone to just give it a severely lived in, dirty look. Especially this fucking ammo box down here. That's going to look like shit. Yes, you do, Jay. We are the boss. We paid you. I mean, that's technically true, but we're not thinking about it like that at all. Gunbelina, press eject 4 times and pull out slow. Tilts, true. Warhammer tournaments are now your advertising budget. So they always were, and definitely matter, definitely networking. Like that's how I used to think of tournaments, which is why we took this sign everywhere with us to put next to our army. Do you have a plan to not burn out your workload /rate? I've kept this up for about 10 years. I think I'll be okay. Honestly. And the streams are actually really relaxing for me. Mikey and I were kind of joking about it yesterday. We're like, oh, I've got a stream tonight. Except instead of it being like, oh, I've got a stream tonight, it's like, right, I've got a night off, I'm going to stream tonight. That's kind of how it feels. Master Mouse! What up, player? Any time we have a stream, it's just, it's chill time with the lads and lasses. You know, that's it. We get to enjoy having social intercourse, giggity, with people while doing something that we love. I love painting. This is my happy place right here. So it's good. It's good. I love what I do. Sincerely love what I do. Being able to share that with other people, i.e. the stream, extremely rewarding. That there is no cron 2 command. What's the point in putting a cron 2 command in the chat when it's basically all we're going to talk about when we're not talking about whatever it is that we're painting or whatever story it is that I'm telling you? You all know. Like, there'll be a WTF command that goes up over the weekend for people that tune into it. But everyone in the stream knows what's going on over that weekend anyway. So yeah. Give command. You give command. There is no waffle command either. You can literally write off going to waffle order 20 as tax expense. Now I know. So the only time I ever go on a holiday, like leave the country, go on holiday, is for a tournament. And so like my holidays are now expenses. Love it. Love it. Oh, what you plan on doing this year, Jay? Oh, I'm planning on going to Vegas for a tournament and I'll write it off as a Warhammer's expense. What? Kind of half tempted to give this guy like Ugg boots based on the furry thing he's got going on here, but it just feels wrong somehow. Somehow. So channel point saying 10k and it shares or maybe even plays a clip link. The waffle thing, yeah, maybe. Speaking of Vegas, I've been grinding the poker, doing really well. Nice. Yeah, Danny, I don't like having commands that autoplay stuff or make noises and things like that. I think it detracts frequently from like what we're doing on stream. But maybe we'll. I don't know. Do I even want to set up a command for it? Do we just have it as something that if you know, one of those sorts of things. Wraith, how you doing, bro? Potion seller, I am competitive. I don't play the most competitive army. I play Imperial Knights. That's literally the only army I play. Hersal Sarah, are you okay if I give this guy a denim jacket? If we go with a camo pants, can I give him a denim jacket? You can have half Canadian tuxedo. Because I think that would look sick. He looks, right now, to me, this looks like something out of like a grunge band from the 90s. So, yeah. Go for it. Good lad. Good lad. Boomer jacket. What the fuck is a boomer jacket? what army is your favourite to use in tournaments? Imperial Knights. So, you can't really count this year because there were no tournaments. And yes, I know it's like we're still number one until we weren't, and then you can't count this year, like, you know. But that is the number one Imperial Knight player in the world trophy. This little white dot on a glass stand, just there, that I won at the end of not last season but the season before. I love Imperial Knights. They are such a fun army to play. They're just absolute nonsense. Oh, wait, that's a separate thing. Oh, basically what he's got here is a jacket tied around his waist. So we'll do the camo up on this vest top he's wearing then. And we'll do that as a denim jacket. That's what we're doing. That's where we are now. Okay, found it. I know what's going on. But yes, I am competitive. Last year, I was somewhere just outside of the top 50 in the world. The year before, despite not playing in either the London Grand Tournament or the Las Vegas Open, I was just outside of the top 130 in the world, I think. I love tournaments. That all being said, they are fun, and I have fun games. And even as someone that plays Imperial Knights, which is a game that you will almost never get a favourite game vote for. Either your opponent knocks the shit out of you, or you just destroy them because they can't deal with it. That's normally the way the games go. Because... Alright, I'm just going to say it. It sounds very arrogant. Because I'm very, very good with Knights. I know my stuff inside and out, and like I don't miss plays. I don't make mistakes with them. Almost ever. Though I'm expecting to when we go back to playing games because of lack of practice. I still get a few best sports votes because the games can be really close. And I can make the games fun because I know the army. I don't have to stress over every little thing. So, yeah, tournaments, despite being ultra competitive for me, are fun. That's my relaxation time that's not spent painting, basically. I love them. My favourite thing about the hobby is going to tournaments. You meet so many new people. You get to play so many awesome games. They're the best thing for me. Totally the best thing for me. Top 50, you only play Knights, yeah. But again, last year you can't really count. Although, like, I was on target to do better than I did the year before. So, Steve with 3D printed waffle, brilliant. Like, I love how you guys are like, yeah, Jay. Like, you're only the number 2 player in the world now. Yeah. What the fuck have you done lately? The year you did not do London was the mop event. Yes, it was. That was going to be my first LGT. And it was not good. It was a bad event for me. It was a non-event. So we're like, oh, I lost. Well, you will not get your favourite army. You were before. Yeah, there are some people like that. They're just dicks, but you're going to get some people like that anyway. Any videos out there of your games? Yeah, man, there are. So I've done a battle report for Hellstorm. I've done 2 battle reports for Imperial Bunker. Bizarrely, both against Iron Hands. The first one I played against a guy called Tom. And Tom is one of their main guys. And he's a really, really nice guy. Super nice guy. he's not a competitive player, but he's a good player. And then the second one was against a guy called Seb, who I've played in a tournament before. And Seb just beat me in that game. It was really, really close. And this was when Iron Hands Leviathans were like where you were at. He wasn't quite playing the Brohammer list, but it was right up there with like almost close to it. And it was a very, very difficult game. But nearly came out with a win there. And then I've also been on stream for the first ever Gibraltar Grand Tournament by SM Battle Reports. I was in game... I think it was game 3. It was myself and a guy called Matt, who I met at the airport on the way out there. He and a guy called Mike. Matt and Mike. And he's a really, really nice guy. Like, super, super nice guy. He rolled like 7 consecutive ones for advanced rolls for his guard trying to get 2 objectives. I won't spoil the game. It's a really good one to watch. But it was tough. Trying to... It was one of those events where you didn't take a clock. And when your opponent has a lot of infantry to move around, they're obviously taking up quite a lot of the game time. And you're like, I need to do my turns too, bro. But Matt was pretty practiced with his army, and it wasn't too bad. That was a close and fun game. Very fun game. I think if someone absolutely slapped me, you give me a vote as long as there's a cocky cunt about it. That's the way. So I've played a couple of games, and it's normally like round anywhere between say 1 and 3 of a tournament, where it's a foregone conclusion and you know you're winning the game. And this is back in 8th edition. This is not in 9th. I haven't had enough practice in 9th, and there haven't been enough tournaments in 9th for me to feel comfortable doing this. But in 8th, I knew my shit. And so when we were in a game, if we got to a point where I'd won and there was nothing my opponent could do about it, like just mathematically couldn't get back into the game, and I knew that was the fact, then I'd spend my game helping them learn, because I want to have a good game. Every match I play, I want to have a really good game. I want it to be as close and down to the wire as we can be. I want it to have a lot of like high and low points of like, will he make it? Will he live? Or like, I just need to kill this one thing. Can I do it? You know, I want those moments because they're fun. That's one of the reasons why we play Toy Soldiers. So in 8th, because in the ITC like rules pack, you basically had a score out of 42, and you could never really max that with Knights. The highest points I ever got in a game, in any ITC game, in all of 8th edition, was 41. I came one off maxing. It was against a guy who... His name was John Holland. Nice guy. And he brought basically a first company Ultramarines list, Terminators, Bobby G, and then a couple of scout bikes and some scout squads. And I had Knights. This was first round of Hellstorm. I looked at his list, I'm like, you know what's good against Terminators? Gatling cannons. Okay. He went first and hid, which is the only reason he had a turn 2. Because otherwise there would have been nothing left on his side of the table. Like, even Bobby G was like, what fucking happened. Oh, it was like re-roll to get back up kind of stage with him. Right, I'm going to leave that to dry for a sec, do a little bit of work on Nikkit. We've got to do his silver hat for a start. And then I played another guy not long after that who was a Deathwatch player who's sometimes in the stream, Gareth. So if you hear Gareth, say hi. And he was a lovely dude. And he was playing a cool Deathwatch army. Very cool Deathwatch army. It had a Land Raider in it. So you can tell how competitive he was right there. Anyway. Oh, poor dude. Poor dude. After my second turn where he didn't have anything left, really. I don't know what to do. So I tell you what, mate. Why don't you sort of wind this back a bit? You could have done this, and you could have done that. And that would have put this in this position. So let's bring this back on. You know. And the game was done. We knew what the score was. We didn't have to play it out. And so we played a slightly more fun game instead. Equally, I played a guy at a tournament in Bristol. It's a Bristol City Open. I got a draw against the guy that won it, who was playing Gene Stealer Cult. So I drew GSC versus Knights. Awesome dude, Josh Connon. But in an earlier round, I played against somebody else that had Imperial Knights, and he'd gone with House Tyrannus, and his entire thing was like, I just like House Tyrannus for the melter gun. I'm not too worried about the get back up rules, but I love the melter gun. That's the best thing for me. Now I've always played Krast because of the close combat rules. Re-rolling all hits in combat is so strong. They just need to make it like re-roll hits, not failed hits, and it would be incredible. But they don't need to do that. It's still good as is, especially with the cap at -1 now. But all right, well, cool. I mean, I play Krast, and so I'm playing against Titanic, so I'm obviously going to take the Headsman's Mark. He's like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's just, you know, one of the things that you can do. I've got my metal gun. I'll be fine. All right. So we started the game, and in my first turn, I killed 2 of his knights, including this melter gun guy and the gallant that he had, and he just went, I don't know what to do. I had every objective. Out of 6 objectives, I had all but the one in his deployment zone, and in my second turn, I had that as well, and it was just game. I went, well, that took 25 minutes, so I'll tell you what, let's set up again, and then we'll see what happened if you'd seized. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do that. And the scores were already in on the app and everything, so you know it wasn't like he was going to try and change the score or anything. I wouldn't have suggested it if I thought the guy was a bit of a scumbag. And he seized, and this melter gun went fucking mad. There goes a Crusader. Like, he's not coming on anymore. All right. Fuck. That melter gun is really good. So yeah, we try and have fun at events. It's my social time, basically. Is that right? Anything else we can do on Nikkit? Any more base colours to do? Here's Satchel. He's got a bag of loot. Not sure what we're going to do with that yet. Probably just like sackcloth kind of colours. Which means if we're going to do that brown, let's do that now before we start washing metallics. And then let's get the Gravedigger Denim out as well. We're going to need that for, of course, the denim. Let's use... Still using drab. Or Xandry Dust, seeing as we picked that up instead. Forks Art! Exclamation point! Win. Yes, you can win a £50 voucher. If you are the one with the winning ticket, as it were. In fact, let's tell you what. Let's have a quick chat. A quick chat. We'll keep this quick. Quick chat about the giveaways this month. So exclamation point mystery for me as well. If you watch throughout the month, you accrue meeps. If you're a subscriber or gift subs or any of the other things that Twitch wants you to do to engage with your streamer and so on, then you earn meeps that you can use to buy raffle tickets to win that £50 voucher. Now, obviously not everyone's going to win it. Only one gets given away every month. But, exclamation point mystery, because every single month we give away a mini. Usually two. This month, we're continuing our Orc theme with the Shock Jump Dragster being one of the things that you can win. For one lucky subscriber or one Patreon video viewer or higher tier member, they will get the choice of either of these things to take home. Viking, I bet I finish this F1 car before you finish yours. Even if it's not chosen. However, if you think, you know what, Jay, I hate orcs because they're dumb and that guy's ball sack's hanging out and I don't want to see it. You can gamble and instead take the contents of the mystery box. Now, in here, not even close am I going to show you that. In here is a mini. I'm not going to tell you what. It sounds... It sounds like dice. To be honest, it just sounds like dice. Like that's all I get out of that. So those are the usual giveaways that we have. Minis painted by me in a color scheme of your choice. And here is one of them. Here is the other one from last month, waiting until his photo taken. This is the epic diorama we did of Lenny, our Genius of the Occult Abominant, breaking the furnace. There's a lot going on this guy. Like a hell of a lot going on this guy. So those are the two minis we gave away last month. Now this month is different, because this month the giveaway stream happens this weekend, and this weekend is the Necronathon. Good evening to AJ Sadler, SW Miniatures. How you doing? The Necronathon is a special weekend where we paint my own stuff for a change. This is a massive box full of Necrons. We've got the Silent King, some Doomstalkers, some Doomsides, some Spiders, some Destroyers, some Immortals. Over there we've got a box full of Ophidian Destroyers, about 10 characters, 20 warriors, some more Immortals, and then we've got some other bits for those things here, and a Catacomb Command Barge / Annihilation Barge. I've got 4,000 points worth of Necrons to paint this weekend. Starting at 10 AM Saturday, I have 48 hours to get it done. Within that 48 hours, as well as the 2 giveaways we've already mentioned, or 3 if you count that extra life you get for being a Patreon member. Not only are we giving away those 3 things, we're giving away another at least 21 things for an average of a giveaway every 2 hours throughout that period of time. We've got these awesome token sets from, probably just doxed myself, from Lee over at Strata Miniatures. We've got some objective markers. There's 6 of these at 40mm, a score counter, and a turn counter, and there's some widgets for measuring 3 inches away from the objective and 3 inches for your piles in, and so on. We've got 5 Rival Crafts gift vouchers. Cakefisk is subscribing. But 5 £10 Rival Crafts gift vouchers, 10 basing bundles from them, and I think it's 3 miniatures that I'm painting for the Necronathon will be given away as well. We've got the Scorpec Lord, a Royal Warden, and an Overlord, all from the Indomitus box. 3 of those that we're giving away. 10 AM GMT on Saturday, absolutely, Polly. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. So yes, 1 or 2 things to give away this weekend coming. Toonie Spruce, you literally spelt it correct there. The other one is tokens. It's basically put tokens. It's not even about in the F1. Viking, come on. Bet you a tenner. I bet you a caravan. Arrow, I think I've pretty much given you as much feedback as I can, to be honest, dude. But, I mean, if you want to, yes. Like, my feedback was to probably darken down some of the panels. Because everything just looks really orange. And I was trying to work out if you were trying to do rust. Is he meant to be holding something in this hand? It kind of looks like he is, but maybe there's a hole. There's a hole in the bag. Right, there's a hole in the bag, and the stuff is coming out. There we go. We've worked it out. But yeah, darkens down some of the panels, so you've got some gradients because it looks very flat in the pictures. And then work the rest of the details in, because at the moment we have no point of reference. So, Forks Art, we have Discord. The Discord chat, if you mean like the voice channel, is already open. It's always been there. And I encourage people to use it. I don't, because I have to be working when I'm not streaming. I mean, like, properly getting my head down and getting the work done, because stream time and real time are two different things, and everything takes longer to do on stream because of the fact you're engaging, you're checking camera angles, and so on. But it will definitely be there, so if people want to use that, they can do. As far as the draw goes, every 2 hours that we're on air, we'll do a giveaway. Every 2 hours, without fail. But the voucher giveaway will start at 9 PM on the Sunday. That's GMT times again. And will run up till about 11:30. It'll be just shy of 11:30. No, that'll be at 11:30, but there'll be another sort of giveaway, a meat giveaway, just prior to that, 11:25. The painted mini will happen after that. And the Patreon one will happen not long after that. The Patreon one, what we'll do this time around is we'll leave it till after midnight. So if people sub to Patreon just for a chance to get that, they're able to get a full month's worth out of their subscription. Patreon haven't yet switched to the anniversary date for your pledges. It's coming soon. We keep hearing about it, but they haven't done it yet, and it's annoying. I wish they'd just get on with it, to be honest, but hey. No worries, dude. No worries. Paint a lot on Saturday. It'd be cool to have some chat at some point. Well, do it. Hang out in the chat. I know that Glass Joe is frequently in the chat. And is always sort of suggesting that more people join in. And you should. Why not? Come and hang out. Join the community. Zandri Dust not got the best coverage in the world. This is definitely a two-coat process for sure. I think we're going to do little roughs in white. So we get some greys on that later on. Oh, he's got the neck of the bag up here as well. Need to paint that. Reminds me I need to watch the paint in black and weathering vids over the next few days. Yeah, you do, bro. I've got to rewatch the Necronathon. Part 1, just to be sure I've got everything right for my paint scheme. Edited by the amazing Tom over at Hellstone Wargaming. He did a great job. He did a great job in that. So funny. I might do a recap video But it's whether I'm going to get the chance to edit all of that, because there's likely to be over 40 hours worth of footage, plus like vlogs to do for myself as well from throughout the day. So not a big chance that I get it. Hey. I mean, nice warm black by mixing some black ink with brown. That'll do. Necessary? Yeah, same paint scheme. It's got the Sylvaneth Warcry box down. Those tree elves look nice. They do look pretty cool. I like most of the Warcry stuff. And the Underworld stuff. I think that looks good too. Nice, folks. Glass Joe, how much have you missed? I mean, a lot, dude. A lot. We're bigging up the chat, though. So hopefully you'll have some company in there soon. But you haven't missed how to paint the skin. That's going to be this week's YouTube video. That was all recorded pre-stream. And we're getting all of the details painted up on these guys. Or at least most of the details painted up on these guys tonight. So we can get some good photos of those for our thumbnail and so on. We're going to paint some interesting camo pattern on these boys. Right. So we've got his denim jacket to do. Get our Gravedigger Denim going on. Nice, Timmy Spruce. There you go. So you can be in the voice chat. Obviously that might make it harder to hear what's going on stream. And I will not be in the voice chat, nor will we be streaming the voice chat. But it's there for you guys. It's a community tool. Yeah. All right. I think it's got bloody pouches and stuff. So it's again going to be a good couple of coats going down. Get our solid Canadian waistcoat feel to this. Fox Art, telling you, man, as soon as we go back to like real world, when we can do real world things, you'll meet so many new people. For anyone that's brand new into the hobby over lockdown, you've got no idea what it's like meeting other hobby enthusiasts, I imagine, especially at like the conventions or tournaments or anything like even close to that. The shit. Thank you, Windows Defender, for telling me that you haven't found a virus. Just tell me if you do. How can I trust your negative? Add some poutine to his base. You know, chips and gravy. Not sure. I don't think that's going to be something that happens, to be honest. If anyone feels that I had a fuck up today, I just messaged a different team looking to move to them. The manager is best friends with the current team's manager. Well, as long as you handle it like an adult, that's not a problem. Unless you said, hey buddy, can I move to your team because my manager's a cock? In which case you've learned a valuable lesson anyway. So I wouldn't worry. It could be worse. You could have messaged your own manager saying, hey, can I move to your team because my manager's a cock? And then realize you sent it to the wrong guy. That would have been hilarious, but severely unfortunate. It would have been the opposite of a serendipity, whatever that might be. Not a happy little thing at all. I started the hobby back when all this mess began. Death Guard paid up and nobody to play with. I mean, it's your fault for painting Death Guard. It's all good, dude. Mail it shipped till... it is what it is, Glass Joe. If it makes you feel any worse, I had this before it was on sale. So, a massive fuck up. That's the one. Yeah. I have 7 minutes to finish an all 10 to base. Is that doable over the weekend? I'm painting and basing literally over 4,000 points of Necrons. Oh, you'll get it, Glass Show. Like, anything that gets ordered is sent. Like that. That's just the way. The only issues that I've heard of are people living in Europe now, post-Brexit, where, especially if you live in Germany or the Netherlands, or you have a like delivery, like supply chain that would use those countries for part of it. In those cases, you're kind of fucked, because a buddy of mine who is a humongous Death Guard player ordered his Death Guard Codex on pre-order day, and it literally arrived today. That's over a month trying to get through. Several times it sort of get there and be like, well, we're hoping to get into the country, but there's been a delay, and UPS has had to just send it back now because of the delay, and it's just a nightmare. But, you know, I did it to see your face. Brilliant. With some pre-war coke for dry scoop 30 hours in. Sounds good. No, mate, I don't do any of that shit. I will buy a can of Monster. I might not drink it. I hate that stuff. Like, any energy drink. Like, why? Why? If you don't have enough energy to do something, then fix your fucking diet. Don't just start chugging Red Bulls, because that's not going to help you out. Though there's every chance, by the way, of like a 10 p.m. coffee break. You know. You drank it as a safe alternative to battery acid. Brilliant. Polly, nice. Any drinks make me too shaky to paint? I don't really have that issue, but yeah, surprisingly his heart didn't explode. Eat a banana. Yes, bananas, really good for you. High potassium. Right. Anything else blue? Yeah, let's do his wristbands in blue, because that's a nice neutral-ish colour, but it's just going to be bright enough to add that little point of interest here, I think. I'm going to go with the sort of faded look to his denim. Get that 90s acid wash technology going on, you know. No prop in the Pro Plus. Fuck no. Fuck no. Why? No. Absolutely not. Like, if you're trying to do something like we're doing, which is this obvious challenge event, then it's all about preparation. So making sure you're hydrated so your body can function correctly is humongous. Like, that's really, really big. Making sure you've had plenty of rest on the lead up to, also really, really big. Now, I have a painting lesson on the Friday before, which means that I don't have a full night to chill, relax, catch up on any like little bits that I need to do pre-stream. So it's setting up commands, doing a little bit of undercoating, all that sort of stuff. As to which, don't you mean he spilt his Monster Energy drink? Yeah, maybe. Why do I have a story about someone starting a Pro Plus to study for exam? Why is it you? But yeah, so we've got Friday to chill after the lesson. And once everything's done. And then we've got that's all our prep. That's as much time as we've got to get everything prepped and ready and, good to go. You know what? I know we said we're going to do these white, but let's do an interesting dark grey workup to white. And we'll do it like a dirty white, off-white grey. So we're going with this Gravedigger Denim. And we've done this up to white before. This is about Hospitaller we used as a giveaway mini last year. We did this on. So I know it works as a good start for white. You end up with something that's got a little bit more like depth to the recesses and is a lot dirtier, which I feel fits our aesthetic for the Orc just a little bit more anyway. So this will work. Oh, it's fucking Ugg boots. Also, it's going to really fit the sort of camo pattern he's wearing, just tying it into a little bit of the blue rather than having it be a very neutral, bright grey. Does look surprisingly like Santa though right now. Let's do it for the wrong exam. Brilliant. Friday evening, have a nice long walk because you won't be getting fresh air for a while. Ha! That's the plan, dude. So before I met my missus, I used to go walking on Wednesday night and Friday night, and Monday night after the Hellstorm stream. We'd finish at 8:30ish. I'd go off, do about 5 miles or so, and now instead of going for a walk on a Friday, I take Friday as my like chill time. I just sit and play video games if I want to. I sit and paint some of my own stuff if I want to, or just sit and watch a movie, whatever it is that I feel like I'm doing that Friday. That's just my chill time. Got this helmet one to do as well. Because Saturday and Sunday, my girlfriend and I go out for a walk. Wamposaurus! What up, dude? So, last week it was pissing it down with rain all weekend. We didn't get a chance to go out. We didn't get a chance to go out for a walk on Wednesday either, so we're both really feeling like we've just not left the house. It's horrible. The weather this morning was beautiful. Bright blue skies, sunny. I'm like, yes, what a great day. This is the end of the rain. And then by about 12 o'clock lunchtime, I was having to chase my bin because the wind was blowing it away. Come on! Please, just give me a fucking weeks of nice weather. That'd be alright. That's all I want. Got my Canoptech Stalker kit bash done. Nice. Snake, take care, bro. Is this the spider conversion Mikey did a video on? I might do one of those, but rather than make a spider, make something a little bit more weird, like some kind of odd locust lord, because I now have one of those Canoptech Reanimators spare. And what I don't have is a Destroyer Lord anymore. So, J Bin Chaser Mohawk. Hey, it's Bin Wrestler. Thank you, mate. Bin Wrangler. Bin Wrangler. There we go. Get it right, goddammit. What made you play the armies you play? So, I had a Space Marine army all the way through 7th edition. Because when I got back to the hobby, it was through reading the Horus Heresy books. And all I wanted to do was paint Death Guard. But they hadn't released a Death Guard range, and there weren't cool minis for it at that point. So I was going to use the Loyalist Marines and paint up as like Loyalist Death Guard, so pre-Horus Heresy turn. So in like bone and green. And I did a unit of 5, and they look great, but bone is a lot of... Excuse me. Bone is a lot of work. Kakita, yeah, put it in the whip later on. Exclamation point whip. Balance of Storms, peace out, bro. So, we started off with Marines, and then when 8th edition launched, I swapped all my old Marines into new Primaris Marines. So I had a Primaris army, and keeping the theme of like painting the heretics but as good guys, I painted an Alpha Legion army. No, pop them in the whip gallery, mate. We'll check them out later on as a community that way. It's the best place for it is that sort of thing anyway. Anyway, start off with Marines, and I always wanted a Knight army. I love giant robots, and when I found out the Knight Codex was coming out, we started picking one up. And so from day one of the 8th Ed Knight Codex, we played Knights. Because I absolutely love things like Pacific Rim and stuff like that. The big stampy robots. Just, so good. So good. Do you sometimes have some videos of some Ravner in your heydays? No, I really don't, dude. I wish I did. So, it's just way back in the day, everything was done on the VCR. And I had a cassette tape that had like a mix of all my matches on. And unfortunately, my video recorder died and ate the tape, and that was the end of it. So I don't. I really wish I did, though. It was a really, really big part of my life, and I wish I had that. So, Horus Heresy books do not get repetitive. At least I didn't think so. I didn't listen. Well, I haven't listened to any of the Heresy books. I have listened to the Siege of Terror books, which is set just after, like, the events of the Heresy. It leads up to the Siege. And the Siege is obviously the point where it gets real gnarly. It's like it's kicked off now. But I really, really like the Horus Heresy series. Started collecting those on Audible, though my free credit day is today. And we picked up the first of the Eisenhorn trilogy because I have the Magos, which I got in a sale. And I want to listen to that, but I want to listen to the rest of Eisenhorn again first. I read the books, bought the omnibus years and years and years ago. I'll go through it again. Eisenhorn is the business. And he's such a badass as well in the lore. He is an absolute king. Ravener, I just finished listening to the Ravener series, and I really, really like those books. Ravener is a very unique individual, I think. I can't think of many other people in the 40k universe, aside from the Emperor himself, that are, we'll just say, differently abled. But Ravener absolutely is a badass. Very well written. To my mind, Dan Abnett's best work. And yes, Horus Rising, super good. But the Ravener series takes it and just throws it under a bus. So you know, have you seen that Artel Mini, The Captive Unleashed? Azrael, I would say it is, something like that. I would like to get the Eisenhorn Mini, but he's fine cast. And so I'm never going to get that Mini. Yeah, just one of those. Jaeger, you take it easy, man. Honestly, mate, go and get your head down, chill out. Alright, we'll use this Xandri for pouches and things like this little shark tooth necklace he's got. Still heavily in the 90s at this stage. I think one of those is a bullet, actually. Yeah, that's a bullet. That's a tooth. What is a fine cast? It's a thing of evil. Very evil. Basically, there are plenty of companies out there that make resin miniatures. And many, many years ago, Games Workshop used to make metal miniatures out of pewter, which is like an alloy of white metal. At least they used to call it white metal. It's an alloy. And that was all well and good. And somebody basically went to a GW shareholders meeting and said, look, we go through all of this expense. And obviously, you know, it's metal, so it's heavy and everything else. Why don't we use resin? And Games Workshop head management at the time, GW have gone across the years of Games Workshop. They've gone from being like super about the hobby to being all about corporate to being super about the hobby. And if you have, if you get into the hobby at the right time, it's great. If you get into the hobby at the wrong time, it's not. In the last, they were lead. They were lead when I was a kid. They became pewter, like white metal, probably from the mid to late 90s. Can't remember exactly where. Where'd you say we're now? So since Kev Roundtree took over as CEO, which was, I want to say about 4-ish years ago, he became CEO, but wasn't really CEO, like not yet. And then what happened was the current CEO that they had, who I can't remember his fucking name at all, they stopped inviting him to board meetings, or they'd schedule board meetings where they knew he couldn't make it, so you get Kev's input on stuff. And the hobby side of things, it's been on a strong upward hobby ever since Kev became boss again. It's just the corporate side of things has also gone up with it. But if like the corporate's here, the hobby is here, and its hobby is always just ahead of it. That's how it feels from an outsider, and from friends that I have that work for the company in various positions, like up and down it. That's how they describe it to me. So it's good. It's really, really good. The issue with Finecast was that it was an idea that was floated to GW heads while the corporate heads were like the corporate hats were on, and as a result, what then happened was they went, cool, that's really, really good. So resin, you've sold it to us. We want this. In fact, we want this done in the next 3 months. And the guy's like, you're fucking joking. Like, no, we want it done in the next 3 months. In fact, we want you to find a way of doing it in the next 3 months, and we'll give you a bonus. Right. What do you fucking want from me? Obviously, what you want is what you're probably not going to get, which is that's the skin tank. which is beautiful resin miniatures. So he worked out a way of repurposing the existing metal molds that GW had, which were these massive round discs. They were fucking heavy as well. That were like 2-part molds that metal would get put into and injected into. He found a way of repurposing that for resin, and they retooled some of the molds. But that was the first Games Workshop resin miniatures, these fine cast miniatures. Now, anyone that's ever cast resin by hand, and I'm not one of them, but I've seen plenty of people doing it in like tutorial videos and stuff, knows that that's not how it's normally done. It's normally poured vertically into stuff so that you can settle it, you can get air bubbles out of it. And it's normally put into like big pink or blue molds, basically. And that's how you cast resin. What you don't do is take metal injection molding principles and try and cast resin. Because if you do that, you need a different kind of resin. Spray Black Studios, thank you for the follow. And that's why, despite the fact that Games Workshop produce resin miniatures in their fine cast range and Forge World produce resin miniatures in their Forge World range, the two are fucking massively different. Most Forge World stuff is pretty decent if the mold has been kept up. They're not brilliant at doing that. A lot of the Forge World molds do get old and you do get bad prints, and that is a failing on Games Workshop's part. The way I look at that, though, is that, well, the company's making massive investments into their plastic minis that they sell in Games Workshop. I'd be okay with it if they phased Forge World out completely over the next, say, 10 years. Rival Sarah, how you doing? Hope you're having a good evening. This young lady has sponsored this weekend's stream. We've got a giveaway that she has donated, which is themed entirely to the stream, in fact. And I've used some of these things on the models that I'm painting and giving away. Also, before I carry on with this rant about resin, exclamation point list, we've got until this weekend to get that sorted out. We'll probably leave it running all the way through Saturday, and then Sunday we will do a vote for which army it is we're going to be painting and giving away. But go and check them out, the Streamiversary lists. Go and vote for the ones that you feel you want to see. Go and vote for the one that you'd like painted that you could potentially win. You could potentially win an entire army. By entire army, I mean it's a small army, but still, it's an army. Brilliant. Scoffing Lasagna. Fantastic. Phase out Forge World catalog of plastic in store. Yes and no, Tilts. So phase out Forge World entirely, and then just have everything remade. Like version 2 of a Leviathan is a plastic Leviathan, for instance. Because I'd much prefer to work with plastic. I find plastic way easier to work with than metal. I find it a lot easier to work with than fine cast. But I've used resin from other companies that's been absolutely spot on. I've had no issues with it. So it's kind of one of those 6 of one, half a dozen the other things. But all told, give me plastic. It's cheaper to manufacture to a point. Like once you've got everything done, you're set. You almost never have to redo the molds. But for the Dread Space Wolves list, once CJ paints some wolves, it's a good list. Whoever wrote that, genius. Utter genius. But yeah, plastic I find so much easier to work with. It's just a much nicer thing to use. For me personally. Do you know which list won? Not yet. Not yet. Currently run a 7 Dread Wolves list. Good lad. Good lad. There will be. Yeah, it'll be a poll from the top 5. So make sure that the ones that you want to see potentially painted up, that you could win as an army on our stream's 2nd birthday, are the ones you voted for. The top tier ones currently, from memory, are the Space Wolves Dreadnought list, which I wrote, the Tyrannid list that Ichu wrote, that's very much like the one in the example, and then there's a Tau one that is some broadsides, a commander, and some fire warriors, which Rocky wants to see me paint because he wants to see me paint Tau, so he's been like campaigning for that one. I quite like Tau. I got no issue with painting some broadsides. Right. There you go. So the bone bit's done on that guy. Let's check out this dude. Change my mind. That's going to be this brown to keep it different from his little sack of stolen goodies. Alright, we've got some copper to do. We've got a fuckload of washes to do. I can get some highlights on for our camo. You're laughing at a clip that's contagious. I've been told that. Type of Snurgle, how's it going? Good evening. I've been told I've got a very contagious laugh when it's a full laugh. Like properly, like belly laughing. Ugh. Sarah. I mean, at least that means that Steve can hear us. Steve, you need to start playing 40k, bro. Like, I'll teach you the ropes. You'll be good. You've got a good teacher here. Copper. And then Sarah will know what she's making bases for, you see. What's the poison tonight? It's apple juice. It tastes remarkably like an 18-year-old single malt called Carolina. With overtones of a very, very smoky, earthy taste, with just a slight sweetness to it right at the very, very end. It's like a burnt caramel, that kind of thing. So solid. That's some amazing apple juice, mate. Freshly squeezed and everything. 18 years ago. I can teach anyone how to play 40k. We'll start a Mohawk coaching service, and you can all pay me all the dollar in the world for that one. God, don't pay anyone to teach you how to play 40k, for fuck's sake. Just ask advice, and if you've got no one to ask advice from, then alright, maybe you have to pay for a lesson. But just go to tournaments, lose games until you start winning games. That's how I learned how to play, was by losing a lot. But then, after a year of losing, and I do mean like a full calendar year of losing, I blamed everything from the army to the dice to like, oh, I was just having a bad day, I wasn't thinking, like, all of those things. Out of all of those, only one of them was actually correct, which was the one about how I wasn't thinking. Like 40k, to be fair at the time, actually, this was Warhammer Fantasy I was playing, which was a little bit harder back then than 40k is now. Especially if you're someone that's new coming into it, because if you make one wrong move, you're dead, basically. Jay, I need you to teach me how to play custards. I'm undefeated with custodians. So, yeah, I can do that. Get lessons on playing 40k from the number 2 knight player in the world. So you think that bothers me, but it really doesn't. Because out of all of the knight players in the world that showed up to the tournament, I'm in the top 3. The Trekkie, cheers for the follow. In the world, out of all the players that went to a 40k tournament, I was narrowly not quite in the top 50. You know? Like... how were you on the ITC ladder, you know? Yeah, calm down. What if I was going to do a Game of Thrones model range to Star Wars League? There is one, isn't there? In fact, no, there is one. I've got a friend that paints horse people. Dovahkiin. No, that's the game. Dothraki. I'd pay to see Steve try to play 40k. He's happy playing himself. Look, when you're married, you know, sometimes you've got to. That's all I'm going to say there. They're not going to do it for you. Yes, I play House Crust. I've always played Crust. Literally since Codex dropped, Crust. Everyone sat there with their House Raven. I'm like, no, you're doing it wrong. It's the rerolls in combat. That's what you need. Like, no, House Raven. This is the one. Like, you pay all your CP. Suddenly, everyone started playing House Crust. I was once one of the top 10 Savage Orc players in the world out of 10 that ever got to an event in Savage Orcs. Yeah. One of the guys at SN is the #1 ranked Word Bearers player in the world, with a total of either 2 or 3 events he's gone to out of the 4 you can score in. To be honest, at that point, that's a bit of a stretch. Also, how the fuck do Chaos get separate factions and I'm just Imperial Knights? Son of a bitch. House Hawkshroud. Hawkshroud are cool. Hawkshroud are cool. They're certainly the best of the Imperial houses, but for my own stuff, I always make up my own like custom version of stuff. I don't want to just play whatever is out there. So I'd never, for instance, despite the fact I quite like the look of them, I quite like their lore to a degree, I'd never paint an Ultramarines army for myself. We'll paint a different army and I'll play them as Ultramarines if I want to. You know, that kind of thing. So my knights are basically loyalist Iron Warriors. And that's one of the reasons why I play Krast, is because Krast is the house that hates chaos. They hate the corruption. They have a stratagem to do additional hits in combat versus chaos, which is really good. It's like Hawkshroud for Giga Flamer. Yeah, I mean, that's the one and only benefit you get to being an Imperial player, is you get that. But you don't get Machine Spirit Resurgent, which instantly means your army is absolutely nowhere near as good as Mechanicus one. Which is a shame. It really is a shame. I wish that wasn't the case, but unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I really hope that in 9th edition, they have to leave that strat in. But I think 9th edition Imperial Knights book should be focused on, here's how you play the army, pure. You don't have soup. There's no Lower 32 or Rusty 17 or Dirty Mike and the Boys, as Kenny would put it. None of those sorts of things. It's like all you have is the big stampy robots, and that's it. Because that's the only way to balance the book. As soon as you leave it open to soup, then it becomes extremely tough to balance. And so we end up just getting the shit end of the stick. But if/when they decide that's what they're going to do, oh man, there's going to be so many buffs for knights. Crazy. Like, here's my Heavy Bolter. Space Marine Heavy Bolter. Strength 5, -2, damage 2. Devastator Doctrine. You know. I can hold it in 2 hands. Here's my gigantic Gatling Cannon. Strength 6, -2, damage 2. You know? If you could have any color pigment you need, what color is it? God, like the ones I use most often are like the slightly richer reddish oranges, like the darker reddy orange browns, that kind of thing. Because it adds a lot of like volume to a base. It gives it a bit more interest and pop. So those are like my go-to. Browns and blacks. It's like a dark winter soil, which I think is what the MIG ammo range calls it. Stuff like that. Yeah, Nightmare. Like I'd love it. Like I genuinely think it should be a thing. It's the other benefit that Imperial Knights get is over Mechanicus. You have the the standard Macarius something or other, which gives you OBSEC, counts as 10 minis. And I think we should have a Dominus class knight count as 10 minis when it is on its full profile. A Questoris class knight count as 7, and thereby bringing back a reason to take Dominus class knights because they're trash. There's no reason to take one. They're significantly worse than the Crusader in everything. Nurion84, cheers for the follow. Welcome to the stream. If they get OBSEC, they shouldn't also be able to turn off OBSEC. I mean, at that point, that's just wish listing to a pretty significant degree. We don't need that. I mean, like if they're cheapest treat reserves rule as well as once you pinch they're based on power. If you are putting a knight in reserve, you're already making a mistake. Like, genuinely, I can't think of any situation where you want to leave one of your lads off the table. Apart from where terrain is fucking terrible. And if the terrain is that bad, then you've probably lost the game anyway. Things that I don't think is fair. I don't think it's fair that we can't see through obscuring stuff, but we can be shot at. That doesn't work for me. It's not as much of a nerf as people like Sky is falling on their heads went about when it came out. It just isn't. But I don't like that. There's a lot of tables I've played on that have just been oppressive because of that rule. I don't know what he's meant to be he's holding his hand, but it's now shiny and not quite gold. Whatever it is, it's shiny. What I do think, though, is that knights are, and this is going to sound a little bit, knights are not durable enough. Mortarion, obviously, is a edge case, right? He's the demon Primarch of plagues. He should be one of the most durable things ever. Oh, Wolf, no, I'm fine with them shooting at me. But in my head, it should be like, well, if they can see me to shoot them, I can see them to shoot back. And the argument of your guns don't go down that far doesn't fucking work. Because they do. And knights are super agile. So I don't follow that. It makes no sense to me, that one. Happy being shot at, but I should definitely be able to shoot them back. Also, I'm usually carrying weapons that are large enough to chew through walls. So a skinny building in the way, that Gatling gun is going right through it. You know? I need strong tone. Dark tone, we also need strong tone. So, dark tone first over all the silver. Then strong tone over all the silver and all the red and all the brass. Excuse me. The box art of the bag is only ripped on the bottom rather than by his hand with a single bullet. Well, that might be the case on the box art, but the one I've got here in my hand, that looks like his thumb is just inside the bag, like just tucked in. So it might be that I've got one that's got like a bit of a bad cast. But there's what looks like a tear here, and that definitely doesn't look like part of his hand. So that's why we've done it this way. But hey, Science Pie, how you doing, bro? Thanks for looking though, mate. Really appreciate it. Talking about orcs could totally see them just massively tilt the helicopter in order to hit. Yeah. Hey, Cold, how you doing? Now I'm doing orc. Who was however when I was, and now I'm doing orc testing. You're working on happy days. Nice, dude. The skin tutorial for this guy, we've done 2 different workups. One with an airbrush to begin with, one without an airbrush at all. Will be on YouTube this Friday. Just finished editing the first part of it, which is Gorzag. Nikkit is next up on the editing block, so that's gonna be a fun video for you then. Especially put YouTube for that. Speaking of which, I think we were coming in close. No, not close. Hard to see that kind of detail. It's yeah. Like I said, I think this mini is not the best cast version of him that they've ever done. But it happens. You know, it's fine. Anyway, going back to Knights. They need to be more durable. The best thing for Knights was when everything got more expensive and things got a little harder to fit on a table, because suddenly your opponent didn't have about 250 points worth of anti-tank in their list. They had to choose to put that in and sacrifice something else. The downside is that there are no good horde armies right now. And so people just take anti-tank anyway. What we really need, the biggest buff to Knights, is that Orcs get a massive buff. Then something like Dark Elder are about to, in the new codex. But if Dark Elder, like Witch and Rack spam comes back, that's a huge buff to Knights. Rotate Iron Shield came minus 1 to wound rather than bonus to invulnerable saves. Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. It's one that I'd not considered before. That does mean the rest of your Knights are still just sort of sat there hanging out with a not ideal invulnerable save. To be honest, I think they should probably remove Rotate Iron Shields from the game and give your Knights... Well, leave it in there, but give your Knights a 4-up invulnerable save anyway, but allow you to use that on the Helverins to put them from a 5-up that they keep, they're smaller, to a 4-up. Think about the amount of stuff in 40k that's got a 4-up invulnerable save. And then think about how you could definitely pack that technology into something the size of a Knight, where you got the room for it. 60 Warrior, 27 Scarab, Silent King. This is pretty well as a horde list. It does, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the list that I'm planning on running. I also add a couple of spiders into mine for just that extra bit of annoyance, essentially, for my opponent. They've got to deal with even more scarabs at that stage. Actually, I want to leave that quite dark, so we'll wash that really aggressively. Might even come back for a second black wash on that. the thing is, whilst if you play it really well, it wins games, you've got to play it really well to win games. Because it's an army that generally doesn't have the biggest output ever. You have some decent mid-range weaponry. And you've got some great short-range weaponry. But you just don't have a lot of like heavy hitters. You've got the Silent King. So you need to be able to play the Silent King really, really well. And that means you've got to get him next to all of your stuff for the buffs, because you really want those rerolls to hit, and you really want those rerolls to wound in melee. Like, you really, really want those rerolls to wound in melee. So you've got to get the Silent King kind of danger close, but keep him safe. And you want him to be absolutely destroying stuff at range, so you can get the secondary there. Oh, fuck, what's it called? Command? No. Where your nobles have to kill stuff. No, I've forgotten it. It's gone. So you need him finishing off units for that. So you've got to play this weird, like, game of math where you can work out whether a unit will kill some things so that he can instead. No. It's a secondary. It's called something beginning with a C. I don't remember it, which is really annoying me though. Silent King, he's a murderer. So is pretty much everything you put on the table in 40k. Some of them are literally actually murderers. Like, some servitors are criminals, so like murderers, rapists, and so on. 40k is a fucking horrible place to be. Like, what would you like to be in 40k? I think my answer is peacefully dead. Noxmaker, how you doing? It's not an easy list to play, absolutely. Who is that? Just out of interest? I try and keep up on countries I'm likely to visit and their top players. Cool, we need to thin this right down for that after we've done Nikkit's hat. Justin, I thought it might have been. I played Justin at the Alliance Open, and with a little bit more luck, I could have made it a very close game. But he ran Morty and I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 Disco Lords plus 90 odd Plague Bearers. It was a horrendous list for Knights. We have no way of dealing with that. Is a gas kill a murderer on the top? I need to paint mine up. Gazzy's definitely a murderer. I mean more that it doesn't matter where you put the Silent King because it's Silent King. That's not true. Like, not at the top tier of competitive play. So in friendly games with your mates and like at your local, that may very well be the case for yourself. I mean, no disrespect by saying this, obviously. But if you go to a tournament with, I've got the Silent King and then whatever other 1,500 points worth of stuff I wanted to choose, then you don't have a list. Not really. You haven't even got like a plan. You've got just this weird set of stuff that you've bundled together. Now there's always going to be like the most efficient list in terms of just the raw numbers. But the most efficient list might not actually fit your playstyle, and so therefore you need to either change your playstyle or adapt the list to fit the way that you play so that it works out better for you, despite the fact it's not necessarily on paper mathematically the most efficient thing. Skeptic Legend, 4 months now, bro. Let's go, he says. Thank you for that sub. Crazy Yank, my computer bricked on Monday, saving important stuff in the reinstall and 9% of programs. Unlucky, bro. Unlucky. Like, I live in fear of things like updates to OBS and so on, so I get it. Do you want to try Vallejo Scale 75 in it? You recommend and must-haves. We'll be mainly painting Dark Angels across all 3 companies. Okay. Somebody clip this. Paints that you should have from other companies. We'll start with... Like, why are you not choosing P3 for a start? P3 produce some of the best paints. The best paints. They can be a pain to get hold of, but Element do them. !Element. Firestorm Games stock them a lot. You know, even my local in Bristol stocks P3. Full range of P3. So, from P3, you should get... Let me work through this. Gravedigger Denim. Start recording right now. Gravedigger Denim. Morrow White is better than GW's White. You need to get Signar Blue Base and Signar Blue Highlight. You want to get Arcane Blue. Necrotite Green. Eldritch, which is like teal kind of colour. Kador Red Base. Bogrim Brown. Battlefield Brown. Menoth White Base, Menoth White Highlight. That's P3. Now record this one separate. From the Army Painter, get all their inks, all their washes. One Pesaurus, you think Pig Iron's better than Lead Belcher? Wait till you get to Vallejo Gunmetal. So Army Painter, get their washes. From Vallejo, pick up their metallic model air range for all of the silvers and for copper. Yeah, super good. Super good. For scale 75, go for their golds. Viking Gold, Dwarf Gold, Necro Gold, shit, there's another one. I don't have it, but I've wanted it for a while and I don't remember what it is. From their regular colour range, pick up just whatever you like the look of. But, honestly, there's a list. Elven Gold. Elven Gold is good, but it is a pig. It's very, very thin. Not fun to use. At all. It's good, but that is like the rest of their paint range. Their metallics are brilliant. Their regular paints, airbrush like a dream about Scarlett Johansson. But their regular paint, whilst it has a lovely finish, is not fun to use. It is very thick. You have to thin it a lot. You have to do several thin coats to avoid getting brush strokes. It's... Yeah, not the most fun thing ever. There are some amazing pigments though, which is the thing. Like I use a lot of their like blues, Canterbury blue, Caspian blue, Caribbean blue. My God, they're incredible. But I airbrush the living fuck out of them. I wouldn't even consider painting those on. But if the only paint company I was allowed to use ever again, like I was abandoned on an island somewhere, obviously suspend your fucking disbelief for this one, I was abandoned somewhere, and I was told, we'll let you have a hobby so you can do your mini painting if you want, but we're only allowed to give you paints from one company. It would be P3. They're so good. They're so good. Like I'm a full P3 champion. Like they just nail it. But the paints have been created by Mike McVeigh. He knows a thing or two about painting. He's not a bad artist. There you go, Wolf. I think I've answered that. Can you use the Vallejo Air paints range with a brush? You can, but they are really thin. I've got their Vallejo Model Air Burnt Umber, and it's a great colour, but you are looking at 4 or 5 coats with that, unthinned, to get anything smooth. It's not ideal. And the regular Vallejo stuff I find a little thick. However, Vallejo Sunset Red is one of my favourite pigments ever. Honestly. One of my favourite ever. It is a beautiful, bright, vivid pink. And I use it on a lot more than people think. It's so handy. Right. Just wick away some of that. It's got a bit heavy. So we've got this wash to go down over all the metals. That's all of them now, both the silvers and the coppers. If I would just paint it on this black as well, because that would just subtly help to shade that a little bit. What have we got left to do? What do we have left to do? Oh, and on the red as well, we've got to do that, but that'll be a thin, much thinner wash than this. I always going to go slightly thicker over the metallics because I want to use it as a filter. So a filter is, imagine there's a barrier between you and something, and that barrier is coloured, so you're looking at it through literally a different light. That's what we're doing here. We're tinting those metals. P3 paints you need. Oh, chili bumbling potato TB taco left. Wow. Wow. But yeah, Vallejo Model Air Metallics brush on so nicely. Like if you've got a really powerful color like the red that we'll end up with on this, it'd be difficult to get that pigment over it in one coat to the point where you can't. Not without leaving a lot of visible brush strokes and blemishes. White Wolf Ranger, cheers for the follow. Welcome to the stream, bro. But it's just such a good paint. Honestly, it's the best silver. Vallejo Gunmetal I use for base coat for pretty much all silvers. Their regular silver is really good. A scale 75 one I use a lot. Like an absolute lot is speed metal. That's almost metallic white. It's fucking great. And yes, this is strong tone. One of the Army Painter's best washes. Their paints might be dog shit. And I really mean that. I don't like their paint at all. It's thick. It doesn't have good coverage. It's very cheaply made. It's just not good. Angry Hobbit Gaming! You little boss. Thank you very much. Get some love in the stream for this guy. Alright, chap. How's it going? It's going well, dude. It's going really well. Can't complain. How about yourself? We're doing some work on this Orc. A little bit of a palette cleanser after Lenny and Carl, who are now eagerly awaiting their photo op, which is going to be tomorrow. So why we're doing this Orc tonight is I can get a load of pictures of him, like sort of half done admittedly, ready for the thumbnail and so on. Vallejo Metal Color. Vallejo Model Air Metallic. These. Oh, Vallejo Metal Color is really good, actually, for an airbrush only. but they're designed for airbrushing. Do you think the wash will not? Depends on what I'm doing. For the metallics like this, we'll put it on pretty much raw. So straight out of the bottle. For everything else, like the pants and so on, we're going to thin it. All washes, regardless of company, should be dependent upon what you're doing. Because remember, we talked about this a lot last stream where we demonstrated like practical applications of this. Washing is a technique, not a product, but there are products out there designed to give you a paint that is thin enough to use for that technique without having to thin it anymore. But the difference between the wash I'm putting on now and the wash that I just applied using the unthin stuff is night and day. It's the same product, but we're using the technique in a slightly different way, hence we're thinning our product. Now I could have made this wash using essentially some primary colours and water and really gone to town, or I could have just picked up a pot of like a decently strong brown-red paint, such as Rhinox hide, thin that right down and painted it on. Now, one thing that's slightly different between most washes and you just doing that is that most washes contain a little bit of gloss medium. And that's what helps them just get into the recess a little bit more. It's also what gives them a little bit of a shine once they're dry anyway. So, because I'm going to be matte varnishing everything, I don't need to worry about that so much. We can eliminate that shine. Is Ammo Mig pigments or nature effects you use? So I'm currently been using the Ammo Mig. I've got a load of Vallejo ones, got some Forge World ones, got some Cromlech ones. However, Sarah from Rival Crafts is literally about to launch a set of pigments with, I believe it is 68 pigments in the range. They just need to find one more. I mean, come on, you missed a trick there, guys. But 68 pigments in their range. And Sarah and I have talked about this a lot. She knows how I like to paint. She knows how I approach basing. And obviously, as a supplier that really cares about what their clients, their customers are using and recommending, she really likes the way that I do my basing. And she wants to be able to provide a full package, essentially. So eventually, and I keep sort of, nudging her about it, eventually there will be a Rival Crafts pumice. She's already getting some bark chips to use, which I use a lot of to build up bases and rocky outcrops and stuff. So Rival Crafts will literally be my one-stop shop for all basing accessories. So if you're looking at picking up quite a lot of pigments, maybe wait for that if you can. Drunk Mystic, Testers Dolco. Wompsaurus, see you in a bit. Cadbury's caramel eggs are very bad for me. I had 5 when I started watching the stream. Damn. The Real Hootsman. Thank you for that raid, dude. Welcome to the stream, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? Prior Knight, The Real Hootsman, Jerry73, Hoots. Force of Hoots, love this. Love this. Strider 9000, Davon, Don, Scovilo, Danath, Alave. How you guys all doing? Real Hootsman, how is your stream? Let me give you a follow. As that's a name I don't recognize. Boom. There you go, dude. Real Hootsman, the band Glory Hammer, fan of Falcon Punch's competitive FPS, retro and modern music, hanging out and being part of an awesome community tournaments. Awesome, man. What were you streaming tonight? That sounds like a lot of fun. Also, thanks to the follow. Much appreciated. Looking to get in the Mind Stealer next. There seems to be a lot of wings on there, so I'm not confused where people get their wings from. Various different kits, basically. Painting some Chaos Spawn. Nice, nice. If you want to show it off, Too Many Sprues, one of our mods, has just linked our whip gallery. It's a Discord server, so come join in there. Show us what you've been painting. We'll be going into that in about 10 minutes or so. Jerry73, cheers for the follow. Tonight, we've been working on Gorzag and Nikkit. Force of Hoots! Thanks for the follow. So, we've got everything done apart from the skin tonight. The skin was done pre-stream and is being recorded and will go up on YouTube on Friday as a guide on how to paint Ort Skin 2 different ways. With Gorzag, we did a lot of the preliminary work with an airbrush, and this is a fade that's gone up from purple as our base coat for green skin all the way through to this. Strider 9000, cheers for that follow. For Nikkit, we did all of this with a brush. If you don't have an airbrush, there's still something there for you to watch and possibly learn. Tonight we've done literally everything else. We're painting this guy as like a 90s like hip-hop, Def Jam kind of artist, basically, I think. So we've got what will be camo on this dude, looking like this. So more the red side of it than the blue side of it. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be painting on the rest of this guy. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That's the with me. Haven't painted since last week. It happens, dude. It happens. So yeah, tonight we've blocked in all the rest of the colours. We've literally just thrown down some all-over washes on pretty much every part of it. So all that's wet and waiting to dry. We're talking about... What are we talking about? We're talking about Rival Crafts. But what I will talk about, though, is a giveaway that is happening this weekend. Not just one giveaway. Not just 2 giveaways. Not just 10 giveaways. Somewhere closing in on about 25 things we're giving away this weekend. Because this weekend is the Necronathon 2, where I will be painting a Necron army to match my existing colour scheme. We're doing 4,000 points of Necrons. Right here is about half of it. A couple of Doom Scythes, the Silent King, some Doomstalkers, some Scorpec Destroyers, some Spiders, Scorpec Lord, some Locust Destroyers, some Immortals, and stuff. Got a Catacomb Command Barge, Annihilation Barge going on here. Over here we've got some Warriors, more Immortals, Ophidian Destroyers, about 10 characters. Got 4,000 points of crons to paint up in this colour scheme. Let me show you some elements from our current Necron army. This is one of my favourite minis ever. I fucking love this dude. So here is the Void Dragon. The Void Dragon and the Nightbringer were painted up in a 24-hour charity stream we did to raise money for Calm, a campaign against living miserably. This was done in 24 hours along with one other mini, start to finish. Fucking love this thing. He's never seen a table because he's terrible. But I really, really love this. It's one of my favourite Games Workshop miniatures of all time. The rest of the Necrons were painted up in a 48-hour challenge. We did 2,500 points, and they all look like this. And so we now need to get the rest of our Necron army done this weekend to match this. Now, during that weekend, like I said, we have got 24 giveaways to do. We've got, from Strata Miniatures, that was well timed, 4 sets of tokens, both objectives. These are 40mm objectives marked A, B, C, and D. So you've got different kind of objectives in different games. They're just marked to make it easy for you to know which one's which. You don't need numbers 1 to 6 anymore. It doesn't matter. There's Strata right there. In fact, my God, the timing of this was karmically awesome. We've got these turn counters plus score counters. We've got some widgets for measuring both 3 inches away from an objective, exactly, and some 3-inch, 2-inch, 1-inch, half-inch measuring widgets. We've got 4 of these to give away. We've got 5 £10 Rivalcraft vouchers to give away. We've got... Can I reach it? It's just beyond my monitor. It's in the bag. Let's not dox myself. We've got... God damn, that packaging's thick. Third time lucky. What? Trolled. Trolled! What the fuck? Finally, we've got some resin crystals to go on your Necron's bases. And I've used a load of these in this army. We've got 10 basing bundles from Rival Crafts to give away. And then, because I don't need 3 Scorpec Lords, I don't need 3 Necron Overlords, I don't need 3 Royal Wardens, we're going to give away 1 of each of those miniatures after it's been painted. So you'll have your own piece of the Necronathon. Not only that, because it is the last stream of the month on the Sunday, we are giving away our usual plethora of giveaways, a £50 hobby voucher to a hobby stockist of your choice, !meep, check your meeps, !win, something on that. We're also giving away a mini painted by me in a colour scheme of your choice. So the choices you've got this month are, for 1 lucky subscriber or a Patreon video viewer or higher member, the Shock Jump Dragster, or the Lord of Virulence, the brand new Death Guard model. Though if you decide, actually, I don't want these. He's got his nutsack hanging out, and that's a silly F1 car. You can gamble it all on the contents of the mystery box. Crazy shit. All this weekend. The action starts Saturday morning at 10 AM. We will finish all of this by 10 AM Monday morning. We've got a giveaway on average every 2 hours over that time if we stream for the full 48, which I'm really hoping I won't be. And to give you some idea of the paint job on the minis that we give away, this was one of last month's miniatures, Gorzag. He looks cool. He looks really cool. This was the other one. This was the contents of the mystery box. This is Lenny and Carl, our Genius of the Occult Abominant diorama. She's been entered in the Amsterdam Busy Brush Brawl. An Abominant sneaking through the Underhive in the darkness, making his way to destroy this furnace. Loads of OSL, lots of fun shit we did on this guy. Oh, super cool. Super, super cool. Des knows nothing. Des has no idea. No one knows what's in the box apart from me. Even Ben doesn't know. Anyway, enough about me and what I'm doing. Let's see what you're doing. It's whip time. Let's get to it. !whip or !discord. Go and have a look in the work in progress channel. Once you get there, post up to 3 pics of your work, and let's give you some CNC. First up is Remnants. Black Legion I'm working on. Champion is pretty much done. I like that. I like that a lot. Great work on the face. That skin tone looks really dead flesh. Big fan. The paint style you've adopted is more of the heavy metal paint style, which is not what I prefer, but you've executed it well. Highlights are nice and thin. This is good. Apart from the hand holding the axe, that needs to be dialed back in a little bit. Just use some of the base colour and then paint essentially where you don't want the height to be anymore, and sort of subtract that away. We would have an idea if you put in the hunt reward. What? Hearst Alcero with a big cheer. Bits everywhere in the whiskey jar. Cheers, brother. Legend. Let's get some hype for that effort Jay's put in. You can hype by showing up this weekend. Because remember, this weekend, we're trying to push for partner. Only because it's our 2-year anniversary soon, for which we'll be giving away a fully painted army. Exclamation point list for some more information. And I want people to be able to get 2-year badges, and you can only do that if you're partner. So we're trying to push for partner this weekend. So if you want to help me become partner on Twitch, which would be amazing, so amazing, then show up this weekend, host a stream, tell your mates, get them in, make some alt accounts, whatever you got to do. I don't care. I didn't say that. When are you doing this? Sorry, been lurking. Janelle Sen, it's this weekend. Janelle Sen, an absolute OG. She's been here since day one. Woot woot, that's all my bits left. Cheers, Toonie Sprues. Much love, brother. Also from Remnants, the rest of the squad. Nice. Very, very nice, dude. I like them a lot. Some solid work. You need to get some decals or something on those shoulder pads. Yeah, them being blank. The rest of the mini's full of detail, and you've just got this like gap where there's nothing there. Janelson! There you go. 21 months. Gonna be right up there in the 2-year club very soon. That's why we need partner. Get some hype in the stream for Janelle Sen. Muad'Dib! Chucking some triangles in the whiskey jar as well. You legend. Need those 2-year badges. We do. We need them stinky badges. Except yours will always just be the first badge. That's the problem. Huh. Oh well. Like I said though, OG. You know, Rutang. He's been here a while. He's got his 1-year badge. Okay. What's up next? Lethal Styles, just a few highlights to do, then he is finished. Okay. Yeah, this is good. The base, I'm not sure of. The rest of the mini, looking great. But the base, I think you've gone for like a muddy field look. And I'm not sure it's worked out well. Equally, I don't know how to fix that. Would rather be first. Absolutely. You're rebasing. Okay. That's fine. Kareem! How you doing, brother? Speaking of awesome people I've met at tournaments, that guy right there, he's one. What's the problem with being a partner on Twitch for you? It means I can give people 2-year badges. That's literally it. I get more emotes to make in my admin Mondays. I get to give people 2-year badges, up to 8-year badges. That's the only reason. Basically, if you get enough tier 2 subscribers and tier 3 subscribers, it makes it really fiscally like different. But otherwise, it doesn't really. I think Twitch pays the admin fee for giving you the tier 1 sub money, which is going to net me maybe $100 a month. Maybe $100 a month. It's not a lot. I'm not fussed about that at all. But I want you guys to have your badges. That's why I care. But anyway, to the Death Guard. I like the scheme. I'd probably highlight the silver up just a little bit more, just to give it a bit more separation. From a distance, I can imagine if you held this at like absolute arm's length, it kind of all merges into one thing. So just give it a little bit of like some pop highlights here and there, just to help lift a few elements about. Just to break it up a little bit from a distance. But I like what you're doing, dude. Like that pink. That pink separates everything. Find somewhere else on here to put that pink. So that, like, weird flesh cable he's got, get some on there. pass on anything else. Pizio Fracchio! 3 months now, bro. Thank you very, very much. Absolute superstar. But yeah, more of that pink. If you do yourself a favor, like a test, right? Put them in on a table, and then stand on the other side of the room and look at it. And if all you see is like a beige kind of smudge in the distance, then you know it needs a little bit of work. Then go and turn it round and do the same thing, and I bet it doesn't look like a beige smudge anymore. Like, it's a big change having a bright spot colour on a miniature. It makes all the difference in the world. So, Rutang, really stoked with how this shoulder pad turned out. I'm digging the multiple hues that work together on this. Yes. See, it's that purple, mate, the inclusion of that. With your final highlight, is that silver mixed in with gold? Or is it just silver? Meteos, how you doing, bro? Platinum. Okay. So, mix it with your base gold. If you're a Patreon member, if you watch the video on gold and glow we did for the other Void Dragon I painted, not my own, the other one. You'll see at the end, when we're doing the final highlights in the gold, we talk about why you mix the two together. And it really makes a difference. It helps just keep that nice, smooth finish through. What you've done is good because you've kept those highlights small. It still looks alright. But that's another way of doing it. Carlito's Way. What a great film. Good evening. Mix it and go over, because the metallic paint will be thicker, and to glaze a metallic is a lot more work than people think, because you tend to wash the pigment out and keep just the metal fleck, and it's a pain to deal with. Also, Witank 30, cheers for the follow. But looking good, dude. Keep it up. Keep it up. Right, here you go. This is Herr Salcero and his Stomper. So what I think you should do, mate, and you said you've darkened some down, go into some of the individual armor panels and treat each one as a mini. Thank you for the follow, dude. So rather than having like dark at the bottom and light at the top, keep that as the overall impression that you get. Remnants coming in with a sub. Legend. Absolute legend. Thank you very much. And thank you again for sharing your Black Legion. So yeah, top to bottom, it should be darker down here and lighter up here because it's close to the light sources and so on. But take some of the panels and then do the same thing on the panel. Now, the panel at the bottom, the lightest point there will be darker than the lightest point at one up here on the top. And the darkest point near the top will be lighter than the darkest point there at the bottom. But it means that some of the panels will have much more points of interest than they've currently got. You've got a mini, I say mini, you know, it's a big boy. You need to have a reason for people to keep looking at it. You've got to keep adding points of interest all over it so that people want to sort of roam all over with their eyes and get all those details. Otherwise, all that's going to happen is they'll look at a big miniature and go, cool, it's a Stomper. Nice work, bro. I like what you've done on the head. And that's all you've got. And this is a centerpiece mini. You can't afford that. Every single one of my knights has had something done to it to make sure people are looking at all parts of the miniature. Whether it's a contrast in the paint, whether it's the inclusion of ruins on the bases, all those sorts of things. There's a reason for people to keep looking at it, and you need to do that here as well. You've got to add some extra bits of effort, essentially, here and there throughout the panels to get that feeling. So here, looking at the side, it's all basically the same paint job. Now, I'm aware there's loads of stuff to come. You've got your weathering to do, you've probably got some freehand to do and things like that, but you definitely need to find ways of breaking it up. If you go for more yellow in your dark oranging. No, what you should probably do is go for some brown. Let me drop it. Have I got a piece of paper? So I want to use this board for something tomorrow. Yeah, we can use the back of this. Right. Hopefully this works, because I'm using a permanent marker on something that's shiny. Let's say this is your panel. Okay, and then you've got another one up here, like that, because it's ORKS, it's not all in straight lines, and there's another one down here, so let's block off that, and that, and so on. So here's your big panels, right? You've got your rivets, because ORKS and everything else. What you want to do is have a darker area sort of here in the middle of a panel, with lighter areas around it, and the lightest areas around that. And if you did that on every panel, yeah, with the bigger panels having more of the darker area because they're larger, exaggerate it a bit, you know. Then you've got something that changes as it goes up the stomper. Yeah, but I'm not drawing an airbrush upside down. And so the whole thing looks a lot more interesting. Is it a lot of work? Not really. Especially with an airbrush. But I do that on all of my lights. This is modulation. Couldn't tell you. I wasn't allowed to do art past GCSE at school, so I've had no formal training. It's just, this is what I know looks good. Homer T Genius 9, thank you for the follow. But there you go. Again, lots of armor panels that all are basically the same. Start building that up. Like, if you've got those lights there, there's highlights and shades on each of the different armor panels that make up that top carapace. That's the sort of thing I'm telling you to do. Alright, Muad'Dib. Repainting some Deathwing Knights. 7 nearly finished, just faces, oil shade, and reworking on the bases. Next 8 ready to start on. 15 Deathwing Knights, you savage. Nice colour scheme. So you've got your own Dark Angels chapter. I like this. This is cool. Shot glass technology on deck. I like it. That's the way. No, looking good, dude. They'll look great after that oil wash. Some of your highlights on the front robes of those guys are a little thick. Did you watch the Patreon video on how to do the cloth on the Blood Angels? Because you could use exactly the same techniques there that I used and just correct that a little bit before those washes go on. And where the brown going to? So the dark bit is where you want to put your brown. Okay? And it gets lighter as you go out towards the edges of the panel, moving it sideways and up. The bottom part would always be dark. Does that make sense to you, mate? Is it cut? I thought these are meant to be like bone white. Is that not? Is that not a thing? But yeah, I would suggest you watch that video. Specifically, there's a part. It's about half an hour long, so let's sort of hunt for it. And it's probably somewhere near the middle. But that part on how to paint the cloth, just with some glazes and like several passes, will really help you out on this, mate. Nice. I mean, not nice, because fuck Deathwing Knights right now. Ugh, so strong. So strong. Ex-Adventurer, first of 10 Skitari done. Please can get some deep CNC on improvement for the rest of them. Alright. You've asked, bro. Firstly, thank you for giving me a very in-focus picture. Paid 50. Damn, son. Oh, I get it. They're second hand. Right, I'm with you now. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to zoom out of this and go back to Discord pick. So, tidy your base rim, first thing. Alright, no sloppy rim jobs. That's not a thing. You need to get some more separation on parts of the miniature. This is a common thing with any mainly metallic mini, is that from a distance you see things blurring together. You need to find a way of better delineating those areas. So on this chest piece that you've got a dark silver with a kind of dark gold as part of a trim. Either go over that silver again with a wash, concentrating on the areas where it joins the gold and almost panel line around it so there's separation between the two, or brighten all of the gold. Because up close, from like, say, this distance, you can probably see all of that. From this distance, you probably can't. For me, the mark of a well-painted miniature is that, and I'm looking at this, my Scorpec Lord, alright, this guy here, is that from the other side of a table, so he's in your army, I'm my side of the table, I can see every detail on that miniature. Not clearly, but I can see all of the arms, the weaponry, the different parts of the weapons. I can see all the different aspects of the base. I can see all the different aspects of the face. Because that drives me and my interest into going closer to it to pick it up and see even more. So, for this, for the elements that you have there that are kind of all in one small area and are easy to sort of mold together a little bit, you need to find a way of separating it. Washes, creating some shades is a really, really good way. If you draw a black line around something, you make it sharper. Now, way back in the day when Sony created the first plasma screen TV, I think it was their Trinitron before that actually, big screen TVs that were suddenly sharp. What they did was basically they took every single pixel and they drew a black box around it. And that's what made things look sharp, and that's why, Don Scovilo, cheers for the follow, that's why you put a black base rim on your miniature. That harsh frame finishes the mini off, sharpens all of the base and makes you look at the rest of it. That's why, I just said that 3 times in a row, that's got to be annoying. That's why that's annoying. That's why using a dark wash to panel line some of this, sharpen those up and then get a couple of highlights down, will start to separate it and bring it apart, despite the fact you haven't changed any part of it. Hopefully that part made sense. Let's look at the butt shot. Honestly, here, this is really good. You've got some solid block colors. Nothing there blurs together. And so this is really, really good. One of the things you haven't done, which I like, is you haven't gone overboard on the detail. We've just finished a Belisarius call where we basically restricted our color palette to such a degree that some of the detail faded into the background. Because there's so much detail there that if you paint all of it, especially in like different colors, it's jumbled and too much. So I like the fact you stayed restrained on this. This is a good thing. From the front though, it's much less clear. Separate those areas, darken some of the shades down, pick up another couple of highlights, and tidy the gun up. I'm not sure what you did there on the barrel, but it looks like you tried for a rusty barrel. It's the only bit of rust on the entire mini, and it's his gun, so it wouldn't be... probably wouldn't be rusty. So there you go. Deep CNC. If I was going to be really picky, the cloak's a really massive flat area, and you get some great decals in the box for this, so you could definitely get in there and sort those out. What colour pin wash for a white / really light grey model? I was thinking dark blue. No, actually, I use Administratum Grey. Just thinned and then used as a recess shade. You're going to see a lot of white painted by me in the next couple of months, so, or at least in a couple of months' time. Toonie Sprues, finally got some work done on my brother's Riptide. I saw this in the Patreon whip earlier on. So this is it in bits, a lot of bits. This looks like the nasty scene from Toy Story. No, I'm not doing scars. I have a extremely big commission, which we split into 2 parts. It's about £7,000 worth of custodies painted white. Save me now. Right, here we go. You said in the Patreon whip, I want to talk about blue. I think. Do you have a Patreon video on Patreon how to do marble? I have a vid on YouTube on how to do marble. How to paint marble fast. Really good tip. It was recently borrowed, uncredited, but cheers, Rob, by the Sanger, who's done a load of tabletop tactics scenery in marble, and by Frog Lane Studio, was credited, who's done a Imperial Fist bigature using the marble. So you want to talk about your blue. You said maybe it's too bright. I'm telling you it's not bright enough. Stay with a royal blue. Signar blue base or highlight would be absolutely spot on for this. Don't go into like your ice blues and arcane blues and all that kind of stuff. But work the highlights in on this and really make them stand out. Because at the moment, because your red is a little bit dark in this photo, and it might not be in real life, I'm aware of how much the camera can fuck with things like this. The blue looks purple because there's so much red surrounding it. And so keep it blue. Up the power that the blue has. That's my suggestion here. So, go mad on it. I think I made the red bit bright, and I don't know what bits do blue accent. Have we got another pick? Yes. So, you're doing the right things. Just do another couple. Yeah? So, on the leg, maybe do the knee. Don't do both, just do one. Because it's very prominent. On the arm, do some elements of the weapon. Don't do the barrel. It looks super cliched in shit. You could do the muzzle surround black or something if you want to make it look more like a tactical thing, but you know. But yeah, that kind of thing. Just add a few more bits until you think, no, we're going to stop. You know. But highlight what you've got first. Yeah. Use it A as practice, and B, once it's at its final stage, then you'll see how much you can put on the miniature before you're like, nah, we're too far in. Barrel Black, match your brother's scheme, also in the airbrush. There you go. Tactical weapons. Malseer. Not painted for a while, has not been well, had to sit not in a good position to get this done. Photo not as good as it should be. Alright, well, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Hopefully you're getting better, but this looks cool. I see some Rival Crafts fire tufts there on the base. Loving those. This is good, dude. I like the color scheme. You could go a little bit darker, perhaps, in the recesses on those scales. That is a horrible sword. Fucking hell. Can you imagine being caught by that on the backswing? Hui. It's gonna be... it's gonna be frank. Nice mini though, dude. Yeah, I like it. Very cool. Sorry to hear you've not been feeling well. Hopefully things get better for you soon. Forks. Wow. I'm going to call this the My Little Pony Marines. That's a bold scheme. Thought it was going over scale with blue ink. That would do. I thin it a lot if you're going to do that, or just paint it just into the recesses. These are my first ever minis. Be gentle. Well, in terms of your artistic ability, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Honestly. Everything's tidy. Everything's in the right places. You've done a weird thing with your highlights, but I think that's just it's just a light. They're bright pink. It's just on the front guy it looks white. Yeah, man. I'm not sold on the color scheme. Personal preference only, right? But the way you've executed it is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with this. Let's get a proper look in on one of these. You've got highlights. Some of them are a little thick. The one there on his elbow pad, right down the middle there, that's a fat highlight. Take the color you used for the shoulder pad and then paint a thin line either side of that until it gets thinner and thinner until it gets to where you need it to be. The rest of your highlights are pretty good. You could do with some more shading on the metallic areas. So you've got the claw for the reloads, you've got the chest iconography. All of those need a little bit of a wash. Now, my usual way of painting gold is to wash it purple and then wash it with a flesh tone afterwards. This might not be the best thing to do here because everything kind of fits together. So I probably wouldn't do that. What you could do instead is, and this is a very big departure from what you've done so far, but you could do like my bad guy gold recipe, which is a less prominent gold, like Negro gold from P3 from Scale 75, and then wash it black, and that would give you something that really stands out from your miniature. So it will leap out at that point. So that's another option you could do with, but they need something to help showcase that extra bit of detail that's there. For first ever minis, mate, these are really, really well done. You should be proud of these. Just spotted Darker Design said the same. Hello Kitty Marines. It's honestly, mate, I'm not in love with the color scheme, but you've done it really well. And seeing a full squad or even a full army of these on the table would be pretty awesome. Good luck. Good luck getting the rest of that squad done. Get your basing done. Join me this weekend. You said you were going to. You know. You got to finish them. I've got to finish all this. Call it fair. Kuna Matata finished assembling 12 doll. Can start painting up his living statues this weekend. What's a doll? It's a dwarf. Dowie. Okay. It's a Welsh dwarf. Made my night. Hey, credit where it's due, dude. Honestly. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't have said it. I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass. Reminds you of a certain bright green Thunderhawk gunship. Yeah, a little bit, right? Sergeant Rolf. Yeah, man, you do you too. It's going in the book. Yeah, what else? You can't grudge me. I've still got your Custo Dreadnoughts to paint. Till, already put it in Patreon, but I haven't touched it since then. Leg was a test for this kind of style. Did I not comment on it in that? I'm pretty sure I did. Patreon whip. You know, you're getting behind the fucking scenes here, guys. No. Where was it? Bam. Yes. There you go. We did comment on it. I thought it had. Ah, no. Lost our place. Found our place. So yes, with the black, darken down the recesses, boost the highlights, watch the How to Paint Black the Cool Way video on Patreon. Ta-da! Done. Easy feedback. Air. Finally starting these boys. Nice. Just there. Right here. This little white spot right there. There's 3 of those. There's 3 of the shield boys. Hashtag shield wall. And a Telemon to do. These are fucking cool minis. Akuno. Still haven't had anything right for the Telemon base. I need that, like, well, not tomorrow, but I need that by the end of next week, or it really fucks up my timetable. You know my pain then. Brother, I love painting Dreadnoughts. I love Dreadnoughts. In general, Dreadnoughts are my favourite things ever. If you could make a decent full Dreadnought army, and I mean full Dreadnought, no fucking Marines ever, just Dreadnoughts, that's what I'd play. Because you can't, I play Knights. But these are great. Love to see them with some paint on, bro. Strata. Lumineth for a quick army to use. Ooh, hello. Nice work on those shields, dude. That's a really, really nice blend. I like that a lot. I'm seeing a lot of community people painting Cow Elves. And their paint schemes are just stamping all over GW's like stock version. These look really, really sick. Big fan. I love your bases as well. For the chick with the face veil, the John Cena, clearly. That's a hard thing to execute. You've done a decent job of it. Honestly, you've done a decent job of that. 30 minutes a model, then you've done a fantastic job of it. Fucking hell, 30 minutes a model, that's pretty banging, that is, mate. You've done the right things, though. Here's the bits that are going to draw the eye. They get the attention. Everything else, quick job. Solid. Gumma. Decided I didn't want to do Black Incubi. Gone for a different colour to represent them being mercenaries. I like it. Are you doing the tabard in that blue to purple? Because I think that needs to be just popped out a little bit more. Like really, really up the amount of blue and up the amount of purple in that. I think it would look brilliant. I really, really like the pale heads you've got on these. The armor, I think, looks sick. But it needs to have the rest of that work done before it will really start to come together. I'm really a fan of full color stuff. That tends to be where I go. But things that are a little bit muted but are surrounded by color can sometimes look even better. Tell us will be purple and a few yellow plates on the arms. Sweet. These are going to look great, dude. Honestly, they're going to look great. They're fucking killer models as well. Have you seen Drazar's datasheet? 2-up armor save, hits on 2s, gets an extra attack and an extra point of damage. It's damage 3. Drazar will slay Death Guard for breakfast. How the fuck does he get a 2-up armor save when my knight's still... Remnants. Here's that Death Guard he said he was going to put in earlier on. I like your base. I hate this green Games Workshop-y stuff. But the rest of the base you've executed really, really well, dude. Nice contrast to the model itself. I like it. Looming Death, trying to get an orangey hair. Probably looks colder than it is because of the light. Does look cold. Yeah. So, I mean, add in some more yellow to what you've done here. But it's Army Painter. Okay. Either way, like this kind of goop that you see on a lot of bases, I just don't like it. It's not my bag. Like, it really isn't. It's flat all the way across, and even water doesn't behave like that. If this guy was stood at the bank of a river, alright? Even a river of shit, which it possibly could be bogeys, perhaps. A river of bogeys. It's going to have, you know, something, a rise and fall. And, so depth is definitely, it would help. Great job on the rest of the mini, though, by the way. Like, we talked about the base because you talked about the base earlier on, but I really like this scheme. Nice job. Those little spots of pink and those little spots of blue really help to add some life to this model. Going back to this guy, though, for Looming Death. Yeah, add a lot more yellow into it. Gotrek, for me, in the lore, his beard was like fiery orange. And obviously Gotrek is getting on for a dwarf, and in the Realm Slayer book, it was Brian Blessed, he described his beard having a little bit of like white hair in it and so on and so forth before he gets revitalized a little. And so you could do that as another option as well. Old Man Gotrek. Jimmy, SW Miniatures, whip from your 2-year-old. Well, the paint hit the mini is the best thing I've got for you right now, I'm afraid, bro. I'm getting a mega set of Army Painter. Have I made a good choice? No. Mensa Nurse, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. There's a name I haven't seen in a long time. I used to hang out in the Next Level Painting streams with you, dude. How you doing? And getting a sub on. Legend. Yeah, Army Painter paints are not good. I'm really not a fan. They are very thick, and when you thin them, they don't get great coverage. So it's a bit like working, for me at least, with a scale 75 paint, but without the payoff of it being a beautiful finish once you've put your 5 coats on. P3 is my go-to. In fact, there's 2 clips from tonight's show all about paints you need from other suppliers. So, Trippy, my kid Jing and I didn't know you streamed. There you go. Hi to Jing as well. Absolutely, bro. But yeah, check out some of those clips. And again, mention this. Thank you for that sub. I mean, it's not bad for a 2-year-old. Is all I got, bro. That's it. Crazy Yank, not quite happy with the gun. Got any CNC? Same issue that we've had a lot this evening. It blurs together. All of that just melt in, right? Separate it. Get some darker washes in there. Brighten some of the highlights up. Maybe change the hue on the gold so it's more of a copper color, or like a very yellow gold, because it looks a little pale there. So that paleness is going to help tie it into the silver. That's my take on this. And again, this is the thing. It's like the theme of tonight's whip is find a way to separate the elements that you've got on a miniature a little bit more to ensure that every part of it can be seen. Nothing should just flow into the next thing unless you specifically intend for that to happen. Also, some awesome models. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Other things that you could do here, though, mate, you could get some rust, you could get some weathering, some dirt, some grime, which I know you're probably going to do anyway, knowing you and the way you paint. And that would help to separate the silver from the gold. You could put in some verdigris, like some edge more to the blue side of third degree. So like more towards a like turquoise blue than like a jade green. And that will help draw attention to the gold. Solid job on the rest though, mate. Like, really, really good job. You've nailed those checks as well. Epic work, dude. Butt shot. Yeah, from here it's not so like the gun has got the detail there because all the metallics are darker. Not overly sold on the colour you've used for the ammo and stuff though. Definitely needs some recess work done on that. The rest of this is great though. I think you hit just the right amount of battle damage as well. The paint job is fucked. Rest of it, functionally, obviously still absolutely 100%. Drunk Mystic, peace out, dude. It'll be me fighting sleep at the weekend, don't you worry. Zex, so proud of this right now. I never thought I'd get to the point where I'd have something that'd be like, hey people, come look at this thing I made. And I really want to give a heartfelt thank you to Mohawk Miniatures for giving me initial inspiration and information to restart painting my army. I'm just over the moon. Seriously, man, thank you. Well, no, seriously. Thank you, dude. Because this is the sort of thing that I love hearing. If I can help anybody out. Damn, dude. This is solid. Vish Weissmith. Cheers for the follow. Liang, how you doing, dude? These are pretty great. Yeah, well done, bro. Really, really well done. Zoomed in like this, you can see there's a couple of areas where that orange just needs another like layer on, another repaint. Just in those recesses. But your overall execution is pretty banging. Honestly, dude, really, really good job. Yeah, it's a lot. Well done. Starting to paint my own miniatures. Nice soundtrack. Cheers, dude. We pulled it together off of YouTube, basically. How are you doing the rest of the base? You'll have played a part in encouraging me to buy a Primaris Dreadnought for the Pink Marine Squad. Goodbye ways on Friday. Good luck getting one. They're sold out all over, basically. But they are really, really solid. Get your minis painted first. Okay? Get your minis painted first. Get the first unit done. Then get the next bit. Otherwise... So, all of this up here is stuff we need to use for giveaways, okay? You'll end up with a pile like this and drawers like this one full of minis that you'll never get around to painting. Yeah, fucking great work, dude. Honestly, solid. Well done. Santi! Prep my intercessors and their bases for weekend paint along. May throw in some airbrush work on a Dread too. Good man. Someone else join us on the Necronathon this weekend. Too true. Yeah, bro. Too true indeed. How big is your personal pile of shame, Jay? Well, this weekend I'm painting just over 4,000 points of Necrons. Once that's done, I've got a Deathwatch army I've literally just bought and a Grey Knight army that I need to paint. So about 4,000 points after the 4,000 points I paint this weekend. You know? I don't have time to do my own hobby because I'm busy doing everyone else's hobby. As a commissioned painter, anytime you've got a brush in your hand, it's somebody else's toy soldiers you're painting. which is why to get my own stuff done, I have to do these ridiculous weekend streams where we paint 4,000 points, spend a load of money on giveaways for things as well to keep me motivated. So it costs me quite a lot to do my own hobby, both personally and professionally. Hey, I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. Nice bases. Very nice bases. My pile of shame is Indomitus characters 1 to 5 times, and 10 assault intercessors. It's not really a pile. There you go. 440k, 3 OS, and a shelf load of Battletech minis. Oh, Battletech, that's a blast from the past. That's right. Yeah. I can't possibly open this. How does it cost to get? Oh, a fuck ton. Wolf. Like my own stuff, like the Necrons are speed painted. They're not done to a good standard. So I say that. Here's one of them. Right. This is not a good standard. It looks exactly how I wanted it to look, which is just like the Terminator. So really dark metal with some super shiny elements to it. We've got loads of red OSL and things like the fades on the claw to distract you from the fact that the base is a pile of shit. And this Scarab didn't have any wash put on him. Okay? This looks terrible. This is shiny. Look at this. Don't look at this. And that's why. Is that true metallic metal? Yeah, it is, technically speaking. It's real metallic paint with a... Well, I'll tell you what, you can tune in this weekend and find out. Fuck you, Kareem. So, yes. You can definitely do better than this. Now, I would not do a commission miniature, like if I got even one within arm's reach. Yes, I do. So here is the nearly finished. I just need bases finished off on these guys. This honor guard is painted way better than this guy. It's just because he's super shiny, you know, that's it. But there's much more done here. This is much better from a technical standpoint than this. That's how GW should have done them instead. I mean, mine were literally modelled on the Terminator. It's the Kyberdyne dynasty for a reason. Right, last one. Quick picture of the tabard and horns getting base coated. Yeah, tabard works. That works really well. It's got the vibrancy you need. The rest of the model is grey and kind of in the darkness a little bit. You need that to drag it forward to be something that someone the other side of the tournament hall goes, I kind of want to look at that over there. That's what we should be aiming for. But right, that's it. We're done for the night now. We are all finished off. So today, now the washes are fully dried, we worked on Gorzag and Nikkit. The skin for these guys, the tutorial on that is up on YouTube. Especially putting YouTube just appeared at exactly the right time. That'll go up on Friday morning, 10 a.m. Tonight we've worked on all of the other details, got everything base coated. Thursday night, we'll finish them off. We'll get them done. Happy days. Now, though, it is time. It's raid time. Who would have thought yellow and black raiders and venoms would do that? I mean, you'd think, right? Why do you think all my shit is painted with hazard stripes? Because you can't not see that yellow. And more importantly, I cannot... Like, no one's going to try stealing that. If I'm in a tournament, I'm chatting to everyone. I'm wandering around. If somebody goes over to that table, I'm going to see from the other end of the hall, at the corner of my eye, someone picking up that knight. It's going to happen. So we got a shout for 2 orcs. Could do. Reaper Miniatures is on. Who else we got? Issues with my eyes today, I can barely see. Tell you what, we'll leave it up to the chat. We got 2 dorks. Any more shouts for a streamer to go and visit? Slow Fuse, yeah. Cutthroat Cure. We used to raid Cutthroat a lot, actually. What's he doing? He's doing the Punisher. Oh, fucking love Frank. Absolutely, totally one of my favourite Marvel characters. Jack Clubs and Wyatt, are they doing a dual stream? I quite like Jack of Clubs. I like his painting style a lot, but I always find that every time we go in there, he's kind of quiet. As I mean, like, he's quiet. Not the stream is quiet, but he specifically is quiet. You know what? This guy's painting my man, Frank Castle, and so that's where we're going. Also, it's been a while since we've raided Cutthroat. Like, I used to raid this guy probably once every 2 weeks or so. It's been a hot minute. Anyway, when we get there, as always, guys, spam those emotes, get the meeps in the chat, let everyone know where you've come from. And I'll see you guys on Thursday night. We've got 66 viewers ready to raid. Come on, get me 3 more. Come on. Click the button. Join the raid. We want 69, that magic number. Let's hope you've done it. See you guys on Thursday. Peace out.